Hey guys, what's going on? So today I have a collection update. Got 2 records and roughly 10 CDs, so pretty nice size. Background, we're listening to Carnal with Lecherous Acts of Hedonism. If you don't know Carnal, awesome modern brutal death metal, put up by New Standard Elite. I would recommend this if you haven't heard it. Really good shit. So yeah. I'm still doing my regular CD collection series, but I'm doing collection updates as I'm going along, just to keep things in order because I don't want to show something that I just got in the CD collection before showing it in a collection update. So yeah, anyways, but I'll get to the records first. So they're both from the same artist, and I showed one record from this guy in my last collection update, and I've been on a pretty big kick for him since, because I've always known a handful of songs from this artist slash band, but I didn't start really getting into his stuff until recently. But we got 2 records by G.G. Allin. First up is his debut album, Always Was, Is, and Always Will Be. And then the compilation from the documentary, Hated, the original soundtrack to the Todd Phillips film. So I'll show the debut first, of course. Got these both from my local record store. Really cool shit. If you don't know G.G. Allin, you've probably been living under a rock, but one of the best punk artists of all time, my opinion. But this is his debut. It's very different. I mean, he looked different. This isn't really a traditional sort of G.G. Allin record. This one's a lot more old school punk sounding. It's not really as offensive. I mean, it gets close with songs like Ass Face and like Pussy Summit Meeting, but there's no like Die When You Die or anything like that on here. But I'd say some of the best songs on here are Bored to Death, Beat Beat Beat, and probably Don't Talk to Me. Really good songs. There's the front. I know there's different like color variants of the cover. It's usually in black and white, but this one's in blue. And I think there's another one that's in red. There's the back with another picture of him. And then it's just on black vinyl. Really simple labels too, just album title and all the songs. Sounds really good though. Glad I got this. It's not necessarily the first album I'd go to if I want to hear some G.G. Allin, but it's got some really catchy songs. More old school punk, less over the top. Like I said, his voice even is more high pitched and nasally on here. It's less like gruff sounding. But if you're a fan of like the Ramones, that kind of stuff, you'll like this. It's really fun. So yeah, kind of poppy, sort of early punk, really good. So G.G. Allin with Always Was, Is, and Always Will Be. And then this compilation, Hated, is more what you'd come to expect with G.G. Allin. It's just kind of a best of. You've got all the tons of classics on here, like Die When You Die, Bite It You Scum. And then there's some of his more like country sort of songs, like Carmelita and Fuck Authority. So really good songs. When I Die. And then there's other ones like Gypsy Motherfuckers, Suck My Ass It Smells, Outlaw Scumfuck. Really good shit. This is a soundtrack to a documentary that was made by Todd Phillips, which, if you don't know, he also did the Hangover movies and Joker, which is really interesting to see. It's a really good documentary. It's on YouTube. I'd recommend it if you like G.G. Allin, or even if you don't like G.G. Allin, if you're just interested in that sort of topic. Yeah, this is a good record, though. Album cover actually done by John Wayne Gacy, so that's crazy. I heard G.G. Allin and John Wayne Gacy were friends, so that's even fucking weirder, but yeah. Got a picture of the guy right there, and then all the songs. There's like clips of like dialogue from the documentary in between songs, and the dialogue's written down in between the songs and everything. And then this one's also just black vinyl. This one has kind of a cool center label right here though, and then track listing on the other side. Really good record though, and I definitely plan on getting more. I mean, I already have 3 albums because I've got these, and then I have the Hated in the Nation compilation. But I plan on getting like Freaks, Faggots, and Junkies, and like Brutality, Bloodshed for all those albums. Really good shit. Just really fun, over the top, offensive punk. I don't know. To me, G.G. Allin embodies what the genre should be. It's catchy, confrontational, offensive, edgy, everything that you'd come to expect with just a good, fun punk band, and then taken to an absolute extreme. But yeah, G.G. Allin with Hated. Now onto the CDs. First up, I swear to God that wasn't a fart, that was the chair sliding, if you guys heard that. First up, we got Insidious Discrepancy with the Inerrancy of Profanation. Reissue, put out through Unmatched Brutality from, I say like 2008 or 2009. So remaster, which I think sounds way better than the original. But it's got a slipcase. There's the album cover, of course. The regular first press doesn't have the slipcase, it's just the album cover with the logo. But anyways, cool album cover. There's the track listing. You've got, you know, all the big worded song titles, like I'll read one for you guys, like surreptitious misanthropy, voraciously consuming rationality, thus invoking dormant sociopathic desires. Just like absurd. But if you don't know Insidious Discrepancy, one-man brutal death metal from Texas. Of course, Sean Whitaker, a fucking legend, one of the best musicians in all of death metal, in my opinion. Just really creative stuff, really dissonant, technical, but also catchy, well-written songs. This is his sophomore album. If you're not familiar with Insidious Discrepancy, I'd say his debut, Decadent Orgy of Atrocious Suffering, is probably the best place to start. But this one might be my favorite. I heard the original mix first and I thought it was just okay. But the remaster just sounds so much beefier, and I don't know, the original mix of this sounds really thin and just not very good, honestly. Like, the songs are good, but the mix sucks. And the vocals have this weird kind of sound to them. I don't know how to explain it. But the remaster is really like beefy sounding, just really juicy. If you want like a really meaty sort of guitar tone, you'll like this. And it's still raw. It has that very digital sort of sound that you get with a lot of stuff with like programmed drums like this, but really good stuff. So yeah, Insidious Discrepancy with the Inerrancy of Profanation. Great one-man brutal death metal. Next up, I showed this one already because I did a review of it, but this is my friend Kian's band, Putrid Tomb. Really cool old school death metal put out by Desert Wastelands. Really good stuff. Sounds kind of like, if you didn't watch my review, it basically sounds like if like Suffocation and like Incantation, or maybe not Incantation, but like, what's another band that's a good example? If like Suffocation and like Gorguts played songs as angular as like Deeds of Flesh, that's the best way of putting it. Really cool stuff. Even if you're more of a brutal death metal guy than an old school death metal guy, you'll definitely find something to enjoy in this. I mean, the vocals sound like fucking early Maddie Way. It's crazy. But yeah, really good stuff though. If you're watching this, Kian, thanks for the CD, and also thanks for putting me in the thanks list. You can't see it, but it says Julian and Flesh Mangled, so that's really cool. But yeah, Putrid Tomb, self-titled EP. Go check it out. These next two are Holy Grails from the same band, more punk stuff. I've been wanting these CDs for years, but I couldn't find them anywhere. And I don't even mean like for a reasonable price. Like, not only are these expensive when they do come out, but they're just hard to find for sale in general on the internet. But I was snooping around this band's Facebook, and I found a link to a website where they sell all their CDs for like $10 a piece. And this has become one of my favorite punk bands lately. Really good shit. I've known these guys for years, but I haven't gotten like obsessed with them until recently. Cancer Slug with Whore and Alabama Bloodbath. So first up, I'll talk about Whore, since that's, I believe, their debut. I can't remember if it's a demo or a full length, but there's like 18 songs, so it might as well be a full length. Really cool, like bold text, spine. But if you like the Misfits, just imagine the Misfits, but edgier, I guess. But they're not a complete Misfits clone. There's a lot of bands like that. But, you know, it's that same catchy kind of horror theme sort of stuff. There's no booklet, it's just a little page. But the songs are so catchy. The lyrics are so, like, edgy but good. I'd say best songs on here are probably If I Should Die Tonight, Greed, Gone, Betrayed, Nothing, The Sleep, and probably the Little Slug Love Song. Just really catchy shit. Betrayed especially, that's my favorite song on here. It's so good. But yeah, I can't recommend this enough. If you just like catchy, misfitsy sort of stuff, you'll love this. So Cancer Slug with Whore. Amazing stuff. I'm so happy to finally own this. It's a really good album. And then of course, I think this is the release that came out after Horror. Their discography is huge, and finding the order of everything is kind of hard to find. But this one has a lot of the same songs, but they sound different. They're in a different guitar tuning and everything. There's the album cover, and there's the back. Another bold text spine, looks really nice. No booklet again, just the eagle with the edgy cancer slug fuck the world. It's funny. And you got the CS emblem. But anyways, there's some really good songs on here though, like The Beyond. It's like one of the best Cancer Slug songs. If you haven't heard this band, that's probably the best song to start with. It's so fucking good. 3 Days She Bled, 3 Days I Bathed, that's a really cool one. Retro Abortion, like those three are the best songs on here. You got some re-recordings of songs from Horror, like If I Should Die Tonight, Gone, Nora, Nothing, The Sleep, Succubus, The Raven. Really good shit though. This one has slightly better production. The guitars are a little more down-tuned. The songs are played a little faster. I can't decide whether I like this one or Horror more, because they both have some of my favorite songs. I really can't decide, but this one's also definitely worth listening to. But like I said, if you haven't heard this band, listen to The Beyond. It's like 10 out of 10 song. And the thing is, these songs are all really short, so like I've gone through a pattern recently of just discovering a new Cancer Slug song, and being so like in love with the song that I just listen to it like 10 times in a row so I could get as much enjoyment out of it as I can because of how short the song is. They're really short, but they're filled with so many great hooks and really well written stuff. Can't give enough praise to this stuff. So yeah, Cancer Slug, Alabama Bloodbath, really cool. Back on track with more brutal death metal. Next up, this is some crazy shit. We got Orchidectomy with a Prelate's Attrition. I got this from Unmatched Brutality's website. If you don't know Orchidectomy, super extreme brutal death metal from the US, I want to say. If you're a fan of like Methods of Execution era, Brodekin, Putridity, Enmity, that sort of style of brutal death metal, just the super raw, taken to an absolute extreme type of stuff, you will love this. It's just so fun to listen to. It's very niche and not for everybody, but if this is your style, you'll love it. Sorry you can't see the album cover, but it's a pretty dark, weird album cover. Strange logo too. Here's the back, but yeah, this was put out through Unmatched Brutality. I think this came out in like 2008. But yeah, this is just some really cool stuff. What's this? Really scary sounding too, honestly. But yeah, you know, really raw, pingy snare, everything you'd come to expect with that style. If you know what the bands I mentioned when referring to this sound like, you know what this will sound like. It's just over the top fucking insanity. You know, really blasty, but also a lot of good slams and stuff too. A lot of actually good riffs on here if you listen really closely, but it's still very noisy. But yeah, Orchidectomy with the Prelate's Attrition. Next up, more stuff from Unmatched Brutality. This is actually a new release from this year that I think is one of the best releases I've heard all year. This is Reviled with Matriarchal Despoilment, EP. Brutal death metal from Texas, great stuff. Really cool album cover too. Don't see many of these like character-based gore covers nowadays as much. You know, really old school looking. There's the back with the track listing. Got some cool guest spots on here on Family Splatters. You've got John Welchman from Defeated Sanity, and Jimmy Bailey from Brodekin is on Purification Through Perforation. But yeah, technical brutal death metal, blasty, but it's got like an old school brutal death metal sort of tinge to it. If you're a fan of like Goregasm, Deeds of Flesh, Disgorge, Inveracity, Regurgitation, that sort of style, you'll really like this. A lot of energy on here, really unique sounding vocals too. The vocals were a little weird to me at first, but they grew on me. I really like the vocals on this. They're really different. I can't think of any other brutal death metal vocalists that sound like this, but they still sound like brutal death metal vocals. They're kind of pig squealy, but in a weird low sort of way. I don't know how to explain it, but they're really cool. But yeah, maybe I'll do a review for this sometime soon. It's really good. Definitely one of the best releases I've heard all year. So Reviled with Matriarchal Despoilment. Really cool brutal death metal, especially hearing new brutal death metal that isn't, I mean, this is still over the top like you'd come to expect with brutal death metal, but it's not like I just showed Orchidectomy. It's not, because a lot of modern brutal death metal is more of that sort of style, but this feels more, besides the production, if this were more raw, it would sound like something that came out maybe in like 1999 or like 2003. It's got that early unique leader sort of tinge to it. Yeah, really cool stuff. So Revile with Matriarchal Spoilment, highly recommend it. Next up, got some stuff I got from Severed Records. They had a Halloween sale. I got 4 CDs for $30. Really good deal. First up, I've been meaning to get something from this band for ages, so I'm glad I finally did. Yeah, Afterbirth with just the compilation, Photocidal Embryo Harvestation. This was put out through Pathos Productions. Just a digipack with their demo. If you don't know Afterbirth, very early brutal death metal from New York, very ahead of their time, really crazy guttural vocals for 1994, even by today's standards. They're some of the nastiest vocals. But yeah, really cool shit, very raw. If you don't know Afterbirth, you gotta get on this shit. If you like Repudiation, Internal Bleeding, Dehumanized Suffocation, that sort of style, you'll like this. It's got that New York sort of tinge to it, but it's a little more technical and a little more weird sounding. Yeah, just super guttural. I don't know, really raw. So come to expect that. I mean, it is a demo, but it's rawer than say Repudiation or like the Internal Bleeding demos. It's really nasty. But yeah, Afterbirth compilation. Glad I finally got this. This next one, I cannot show any of the artwork without this video getting taken down because there's a lot of nudity and gore and stuff. But this is Waco Jesus with Filth. Yeah, I'll just show the disc. I can't show anything on the inside of the CD, but if you don't know Waco Jesus, some of the most perverted, disgusting, brutal death metal. Very grind influenced. I want to say they're from Illinois. US scum grind on the spine. This is a reissue put out through Severed Records. But, super offensive, super grindy. Just over the top. If you're a fan of Lividity, you'll know what this band's kind of shtick is. Definitely not for everybody, but it's really good though. The vocals are just super pissed off, really aggressive sounding. The best way I could describe it is a more grind influence, like Purification Through Violence era Dying Fetus. Take out the groovy stuff. It's just mostly the blasty parts, but it's got some punky sort of grooves here and there. Really pissed off vocals, super offensive, over the top lyrics. Just really crazy shit. But yeah, final frontier of extremity in terms of imagery and music. I mean, this band's lyrics are so fucking stupid, but they have really good riffs and vocals, and they're just fun to listen to. I'm glad I got this. I also have their debut, The Destruction of Commercial Scum, which also has very not safe for work artwork. But yeah, Waco Jesus, Filth, definitely lives up to the name. Good shit though. Check that out if you're. It's not for the faint of heart, but if you like crazy shit like that, it's for you. Anyways, these next two are some really good slam stuff. First up, Embryectomy with Gluttonous Mastication of Embryonic Remnants. This is some more modern sort of slam stuff, which I'm a little pickier with, but this is really good. Sorry the lighting is so bad, you can barely see the cover. Weird cover, like some dude eating babies. But this is some two-man slam with programmed drums, but the drums sound real. Really good though, just very very low IQ, as the cool kids call it, that sort of style. It's really dumb slam, but it's so fun. Super down-tuned. Clean production. It's not overproduced, but it's got a nice clarity to it, but it has a really nice punch to it. It doesn't feel heavily mastered or anything. But yeah, if you want to know what this band is all about, listen to Prostitute Skullcat Pulverizer. That shit is so good. It's just super heavy, groovy, fun, tough sounding. So yeah, everything that you come to expect with some good slam. So Embryectomy with Gluttonous Mastication of Embryonic Remnants. Last but definitely not least, we have one of the first slam releases I ever got into. I don't know why I'm just getting it now, but after I got into Devourment, when I was 15 years old, I remember not long later hearing Cephalotripsy and then this band. This is a Vulvectomy with Post-Abortion Slut Fuck. Absurd fucking crazy album title and artwork, but I love how I couldn't show Waco Jesus, but I could show this. I mean, this isn't a real photo though, to be fair, but anyways, Really good shit though. You know that. I don't know. I can't remember if this came out in the 2000s or early 2010s, but it's that style of slam. If you like Devourment, Cephalotripsy, you'll like this. I think this has programmed drums, but I didn't know that actually up until probably like a year after I'd already been listening to this stuff. But yeah, this has got some really cool vocals, a couple funny samples. You know, it's the type of slam you see in those YouTube videos where it's like top 10 ultra guttural brutal slamming death metal, and there's like the blue like title card at the beginning of the video with like the fucking papyrus font. But yeah, just really fun shit to listen to. If you're new to slam, this isn't a bad release to listen to, honestly. It's very meat and potatoes, and it's not the weirdest slam ever. Really fun though. This is a reissue out their Severed Records. You've got I'd say the two best songs on here are the first two songs, Gangrenous Testicular Deformity and Female Stress Urinary Incontinence. Those two songs are just great, really fun slam, really dumb stuff. But yeah, Vulvectomy, Post-Abortion Slutfuck, cool shit. So that's it for this collection update. A lot of really weird over-the-top shit. But yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed though. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.